Hey, it's Father Jack Benson. You're listening to Catholics in Ordinary Time. We are wrapping up our third season of this podcast. And this topic this time was about people that have become Catholics and why and how and their story of conversion, which to me was super interesting because I was raised Catholic, so I didn't have that experience. And there were real surprises for me in this sequence of conversations. So many of the folks that I was in conversation with became Catholic because of the structure, because of it answered questions that they had about not only religion, faith, but how to be in the world that I found really interesting because I grew up with an excess of structure. So my desire was to kind of push against it and to later maybe appreciate it. Obviously, I became a priest, but it was not what led for me was like, oh, here's a place that has a lot of structure. It certainly did for some of the folks that I was in conversation with. And I really appreciated hearing how that all came about. During this time, I also had a chance to kind of dip into some Catholic conversion literature. I read a work about St. Augustine's Confessions, which I'd read a long time ago, the Confessions themselves. Very interesting to dip back into that and see how someone makes an intellectual assent to what became Catholicism as opposed to other kind of heretical sects at the time, and then also was augmented by mystical experience. Super interesting by one of the most intelligent, thoughtful, articulate thinkers in our tradition. So I highly recommend reading that work or works about that work. Really excellent. Also, I read a 2-volume novel called The Wild Orchid and Burning Bush by Sigrid Undset. That is set written in the 20s and originally written in Norwegian about a young man coming to faith, coming to Catholicism in particular. So if you're looking for that Norwegian piece about someone becoming Catholic in the 1920s, this is your book. And it's just excellent because he goes from real disdain for organized religion and certainly no time for Catholicism and makes all kinds of choices in his early life that as he becomes Catholic, he still has to bear the burden of them and how the faith supports and challenges those earlier choices. Again, excellent. The writing is beautiful. The setting in Norway is just gorgeous. So I highly recommend anything by Sigrid Undset, but these 2 novels are wonderful. So if you like the work we're doing here at Catholics in Ordinary Time, please, when you can, leave a review, 5 stars, perhaps on where you get your podcast. Also, recommend us. Share us with other friends that you think might be interested in it. And again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for listening to Catholics in Ordinary Time. And I look forward to our next series, which is all about church musicians in a Catholic setting, which I've so enjoyed building. And I'm really looking forward to having you listen to that series as well. And that's our show. If you enjoyed this interview, be sure to share this episode on social media. You can leave us 5 stars on Spotify or a review on Apple, or email it to a friend. Anything you can do to invite folks to listen, it really does help us to continue to produce this program week after week. Thank you.